The Doctor's back, and it's about time. So, Series 11 has started. If you haven't seen the first episode, then you need to go back and watch that before you hear us talk about it. But let's try and start off a little bit spoiler-free, okay? The episode, we're both going to disagree on certain bits of this, so bear with us, okay? The episode is fine. It's fine. It's a good start. It brings in a whole new host of things that we're going to talk about. And it's, I would say the closest to this is the 11th hour.
No.
As a jumping on point, I mean, we're not talking plot or anything, but as a jumping on point, it's in that sort of vein. So you've got new characters, new style of the way it's produced.
I mean, you've never really had that because Christopher Eccleston was hot, everything was new, but then David Tennant, it was the same companion, and then Matt Smith.
Yeah,
it was the same companion. Capaldi was the same companion.
Yeah, and it's fine. He thinks it's brilliant.
Oh, it's great.
What can we say? So the story is it's mainly designed to introduce all these new characters. Yeah. So that the story itself is almost a very thin thread that holds it all together. It's a bit generic in its makeup. It's your usual alien coming to Earth.
But usually they come to Earth for different reasons. This is the first time it's ever been like a game or like a challenge kind of thing. Because obviously the plot is basically alien comes to Earth, and it's basically find this needle in a haystack. So find one person out of 7.5 billion, and then take them back to that planet, and you become basically the king. That's kind of the plot.
It reminded me of things like Highlander. So Highlander is like two competing, and then the one moves on, and that sort of thing. You've got Jodie Whittaker, and she's great.
Yeah,
I'd say she's great. I'd say there are little bits that need ironing out. But it's
have
early
you
days.
seen anything she's been in, like Broadchurch?
Oh yes, yeah.
Or the Doctor?
Yes, yeah. So this is a little bit out of what she normally does. Yeah. I wouldn't say it was out of her comfort zone. I think she can handle it, and I think what she's done with it is really good so far. There's just a couple of bits in it that I think with another retake or another edit might have just nailed it a bit firmer, but it's certainly nothing wrong with it at all. So let's get into a bit more specifics now. So we're going to kind of get into spoiler territory, I think, now. So you've got the great thing about the companions, or we're supposed to call them friends now, I think.
Family,
friends, family.
What was it? Fam? Fam was the one she ended up with.
Fam.
They went for the cool...
Don't like
it either.
Okay. So the companions, anyway.
So you've got Ryan, Yasmin and Graham.
Yeah, are the three companions, but they're connected.
Ryan went to school with Yasmin. Graham is Ryan's step-grandfather.
Yeah, and there's a bit of tension there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Between those two characters, so he hasn't fully accepted,
because he doesn't. I don't think he lives with him. I think he lives on his own. I think he's old enough to live on his own at this point.
Yeah.
And I think it's still the whole classic. Oh, I don't like you, stepfather.
Yeah, but also there's a mention of Ryan's father in there, and he doesn't appear.
He doesn't turn up.
So there's going to be something around that, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
So expect his father perhaps to turn up in an episode.
Yeah.
All set in Sheffield. Now, I think that's great. that we're.
Do you know why it's set in Sheffield?
We're getting away from. Well, you can tell me that in a second.
Yeah.
We're getting away from London.
Yeah.
And the typical. This is what Britain looks like.
And Cardiff.
Yeah, because obviously it's sold in America, and Americans think everybody lives right next to London, and it's quite a big place. And I think they shot it really well.
Yeah.
You know, there's lots of industrial stuff there because Sheffield being a very industrial city.
That's what I was going to say. It's the steel industry. This is the city of steel.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be very interesting if we get the Cybermen.
Yeah. Although
The Men of Steel.
Although they have said there are no
Classic
previous
villains.
classic villains in it, but then producers tend to lie a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again...
And the Sonic was made from Sheffield steel.
Yeah,
which I thought that was a nice touch.
But what was it made out of?
Spoons.
Sylvester McCoy spoons and Peter Capaldi spoons.
The one thing I've got a little bit of an issue with is if we're focused on Sheffield a lot in this, everybody in there, including the Doctor, have all got a northern accent now.
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure how that's going to because there was no reference to it.
I don't think that needed to happen. I think you could have had someone without a northern accent in there.
Which would be fine.
Exactly, you'd have that anyway.
But when she turned around and said, I'm an alien, nobody pulled her up and said, hang on a minute, but you've got an almost Sheffield accent.
I think it would have been brilliant if you go, hang on a minute, you've got an accent from the north. And they go, let's have the north.
Yeah, well, we've had...
I know, but that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to go down that road, but to actually kind of not acknowledge that she's got the same accent as them was a bit...
Sort of not addressing the elephant in the room.
Yeah. One of the key issues that was focused on was Ryan. Ryan got more of the focus in this story than the others, in the sense that he's got dyspraxia, which is...
basically a coordination issue.
Yeah, coordination. So,
not working properly.
So there's a lovely scene of him determined to learn to ride this bike, which focuses on a couple of times in the episode and then comes back at the end. But we'll talk about the ending later on. Then you've got Yasmin, who's the copper who gets dumped with all the rubbish cases or investigation that nobody else wants. She just wants something a bit more interesting, which she gets in this episode. Okay. Then you've got Graham. Now, I was worried about, I have to say, from the beginning...
looking at Bradley Walsh.
Bradley Walsh was me going,
Now, I saw a picture today of him looking down at Grace, who's, as we know, spoilers, is dead after falling off the crane and everything. And it was someone had edited together, him looking at her, and he goes, I'm sorry, for you the chase is over.
Oh, crumbs. Grace is a super... I mean, her name escapes me at the moment, and I apologise for that. But she is a superb actress. Used to be in Holby City, and one or two other things. What a superb performance.
Yeah.
And we lose her at that point. But she is due to appear in other episodes, so, well, you know, time travel and all that.
Yeah, I suppose.
She will appear. But the actual bringing together of those three characters was totally natural.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to have this kind of...
There was one moment that worked really well. You know, sort of the driving on, and he goes, oh, Yasmin Khan, you've done really well for you, Chef. He goes, oh yeah, higher ends, man. And that's it. That's all you hear of it. No, how is you... They don't have to go over it and over it and over it. It's just like that, and it's sorted.
Yeah. So you've got this because you've got this connection between those characters. You don't have to spend hours and hours trying to put the reasons why they're there and all that sort of thing together. It just naturally happens, including the end where they actually go. There was none of that. Do you want to come travelling with me?
It was a complete accident.
Right, I'm off now. Gotta go. Boom, and they end up being zapped off.
That's another thing. They're human. We know the Doctor can breathe in space a little bit. Yeah. Not for long. What's going to happen there?
Well, who knows? That's where that was a good use of a cliffhanger. I would like to see that continue through the series. That the pickup
is right from the end of an episode.
Right from the end of an episode.
However,
that gives you cliffhangers.
Does bugger your job up.
Why?
Now, what company do you work for?
Well, I've done some work for Big
For
Finish.
Big Finish.
Yeah.
Now, where are they going to do Jodie Whittaker stories now if they're doing it like that? Because usually for Big Finish, if you don't know all the books, they look for little gaps where the Doctor's gone off and gone, yep, what year is it? Oh yeah, I'm now a couple thousand more years older than you last remember me. Sorry about that, was busy. They can fit in things like that. If they're going to pick up every episode like that,
Well,
going on.
yeah, but I mean, you've got the end of a series. You know, they'll find a way around that. That's not a huge problem, I don't think. So let's talk about specifics now.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the creation of the new Sonic. I thought that was great. It was great to see the Doctor actually physically working on something and producing it. We kind of skip over this sort of stuff.
You get the whole. You had that in the Easter episode. You have the thing that goes ding. You had the thing that.
Yeah, but you never saw him make it.
Yeah, exactly. You can have the thing that makes that can boil a fried egg from 2 miles away.
Yeah.
From the Weeping Angels episodes. You have things like that, but you never actually see him do something with it.
It's almost the same problem I have with, like, if you think about characters like Batman, right?
Yeah.
You see Batman in action scenes, but actually in the comics and that, it's called Detective Comics for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah? It was the detective work that was interesting. He was a detective. And the Doctor also, you know, has got all these gadgets and different things that she can make from anything, really.
But is that something that's going to happen more often?
I don't know.
Like, the Doctor turns around and goes, Sonic, oh dear, let me go see what I can jumble up out
It
of the
would be
scrapyard.
nice. It would be nice. So, from that then, we want to talk about the villain of the week, I think, who was dubbed the name Tim Shaw in the end.
Which couldn't speak it properly and she thought it was Tim Shaw.
So she called him Tim Shaw. Bit of a generic villain, but in this episode I can forgive
worked,
that. I
you
can
didn't
forgive
need a
that.
massive villain.
But the other, I don't even know what the other one was called. Do you know what that
It
was
wasn't.
called?
It wasn't called.
Didn't give a
anything,
name.
It was just like a
but
data streamer.
That ball that looked like a ball of
It was a ball
snakes.
of. No, it was a ball of cables.
Yeah, but it looked like when it came in first in the train,
Yeah.
it did look like a big, huge ball of snakes, and you could just imagine kids hiding behind the sofa looking at that. Not the greatest from script point of view, I'll have to say. So the story, the story that holds it together is okay. It's, you know,
It's not terrible.
And again, you can forgive that because they've got a lot to get through. What I do have a problem with is exposition. Exposition is, when you're script writing, it's one of those things that you might have to use because you're trying to cram information in. So you've got to get the story to move on, maybe quickly because you want to get to the next bit. So exposition is used in it, but not in a clunky way like this was done.
No.
It was really shoehorned in so many different places. And it sticks out a little bit. It's kind of rule number one, is that when you do exposition, it should come out naturally within the characters, not kind of. If you're having a conversation in a piece and that conversation feels like you're just giving information for giving information's sake, then it's not a natural conversation. We had a lot of backstory with the villain as to why they were there and why they were doing that, and why the villain should open up and actually tell the Doctor all that just because she asked.
Best example of this is, or the opposite of this, is probably Kingsman. Like, you know, that just bang, yeah, that's not how we do things in real life.
Yeah.
That, well, obviously works better, but the whole thing of, oh yeah, you're going to ask me, I'm going to tell you my evil plan, you're going to stop me. Or even the Master, actually. Yes, Doctor, I'm going to tell you my evil plan, you're going to figure out a way to stop me. I don't think so. That's basically, it happens a lot in every sort of villainous thing.
It is, but you see, when you're using a visual medium like that, it's got more to do with you show it rather than tell it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to have an assumption to a certain degree that your audience are not as stupid as you think they are.
Yeah.
So when you've got clunky dialogue like that, it really does throw sometimes. So you had, for instance, a couple of situations where the Doctor was actually explaining what she's doing, and it just felt a bit forced in places. hopefully that'll iron itself out. They had a lot to get through, and sometimes they may have made the decision that, you know, let's just force this exposition in just to get us through that particular story. Who knows? The soundscape for it was great.
Sound design.
The sound design, the music, Segun Akinola.
I tell you what, that end theme, when it came on, I sat there thinking, classic who?
Well, it's been sampled.
Has it?
Yeah, he did a lot of sampling from the original theme. I have to say I didn't like it.
Really?
Nope, didn't like it at all. The percussion is way too much. The percussion is following the bass line. And it just... I mean, I listened to it through headphones. Which, incidentally, I can't understand why they haven't done it in surround sound. There was no surround sound in there. It was stereo.
But then again, you're not watching TV, you're watching it on iPlayer.
Whether I mean, it might be that the BBC HD might have had surround sound. I don't know, but a lot of stuff was done in surround sound towards the end of the Moffat's run, and this wasn't. I don't know why, but there you go. That's where it was.
And then the Doctor calls the TARDIS a ship. Doesn't say that often.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole thing in the Christmas episode that's just gone. Twice Upon a Time, was it?
Yeah.
Twice Upon a Time. In Twice Upon a Time, it's just after like William Hartnell's about to die. Well, just before William Hartnell's about to die, and there's a line where he goes, "Oh, I think you know who I am," when they first meet.
Yeah.
And then he goes, have you come to take the ship back? The Doctor,
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi laughs and goes, you still call it a ship?
Yeah.
Because it's obviously more of a possession now. It's more belonging than just the ship.
Whether that phrase will stick, I don't know. But I suspect because it's a jumping on point, for people who've never seen it, the word TARDIS might not mean anything to the person jumping on.
Yeah.
So saying that the TARDIS is a ship may just have been
it's
for that.
always been sort of a companionship. Now, here's something that's very interesting. The Doctor is married to a song and has attractions, at the moment, to females.
Yeah.
Right? The current Doctor, attracting to females or males, or both, at the moment, because obviously you've had the whole thing between Jack, gone on before. Then there's another question. The Doctor is attracted to the TARDIS, almost. Old girl, that sort of thing. Is it still going to be old girl? Do you think?
I don't know. Because
I think that would have stuck mainly because of Iris.
I mean, we haven't talked about the gender at all in this because
we don't need to.
It doesn't feature really. No. It has. We have one moment of I was Scottish.
I was
an old Scottish band.
Angry Eyebrowed Scotsman. 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Why'd you call me that sort of thing?
And then you know, yeah. Oh, am I? Yeah. And then, of course, the buying of the clothes. It's been a long time since I bought female clothes. That was it.
Yeah.
No other mention of gender at all.
It doesn't need to be mentioned, but as in, you can still have these thoughts of whether they're going to use old girl as I mentioned, or like obviously, because obviously you've had attraction to companions before with Rose.
I don't. I will be very surprised
they won't
go down that route. I think the Doctor will be far more asexual in this.
Yeah.
In that she'll have lots of good friends, and the attraction thing may not feature. Who knows? But I don't think so. It was a good opener. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because I think that it was great. I enjoyed it, and if I enjoyed it, then that's a fine start for me. Be interested to see where it goes next. What about you?
See, I enjoyed it more than you, but I'm also going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Right.
And that's only because I think I'm a lot stricter with the way I would rate any Doctor episode. Like for me, 10 out of 10, well, is none of them. I've got a 9 out of 10 on Dalek, and you think that's the greatest episode ever written.
So, by far.
That's only a 9 for me. So to judge it, I always judge it based on that one episode because it is personally the greatest episode ever. So,
So, anyway, tell us what you think. Put some comments down below and see if you liked it. If you didn't like it, why didn't you like it? If you did like it, did you like it for different reasons to us?
Why did you like it?
Yeah, it's not homework. You know, you do or don't. Just all I would ask is, we don't want to have nasty comments because we'll just delete them. Okay. You can say we're rubbish. That's fine. We know we're rubbish. Okay. But
Hey, I don't.
well, he's rubbish. But you say you tell us what you think. But if you're going to start being nasty to other people or being nasty about actors and stuff, it'll just get deleted because we're not in for that sort of thing. Okay, so until next time, see you soon.